How do you ensure that your book is a great read? Content and pacing. The second edit in the 5-edit system is for content and pacing. So after you've had some time away from your manuscript, you're ready to pick it back up and really look at the big picture of your manuscript. You want to make sure that it contains what the reader wants to read so they will stay interested and read the entire book. For content, what are you promising the reader? And does your manuscript deliver on that promise? When they pick up your book to read it, are they looking for information? Are they looking to be thrilled? Are they looking for that page turner that they can't put down that will keep them up at night? Whatever it is that your book is promising, you need to make sure that everything in that book delivers on that promise. So the best way to start that process is with your table of contents. So look at your table of contents and review each chapter and see, does this deliver on the promise? When my reader is looking at the table of contents, are they going to say, yes, this is a book that I want to read? Or are they going to put it back up on the shelf? You want to make sure that your table of contents immediately pulls in the reader and delivers on why they would want to read your book. Now, not everyone will want to read your book, and that's perfectly fine. You may have written a book that is for a very specific niche of the market. And if people aren't in that particular group of the population, then maybe they won't want to read your book. And that's really, really okay. In fact, that could be really good for your book. But for the reader that it is intended for, you want to make sure that your book is delivering. As you're reviewing your manuscript, you also want to make sure that any of the holes that are left in it are now being filled. So there may be places in your manuscript where you have just put in markers. Those all capital letters where you say, add info here, add a statistic about this here, or fill out this character development, or any other notes to yourself. As you go through this time, this is the time where all the content needs to be in place in your manuscript. So if you have any of those holes left, fill them during this edit. Next, you want to look at the pacing of your manuscript. Again, as you're reading through it, are there places where it starts to drag and get a little boring? Are there places where you're off on a tangent that isn't related to why your reader wants to read your book? Are there places that you need to cut words, make a scene a lot shorter and snappier? That's the pacing of your book. Now, I'm not going to teach you about pacing. There are other resources that can do a much better job at that than I can do. I would refer you to something like Save the Cat, or go to your library and check out a book on pacing. You can find all kinds of great resources on that. The important thing is that the pacing of your book fits the genre that you are writing for. So obviously, an academic book is going to read very different from a psychological thriller, and it should. We read those for different reasons as readers. But make sure that your book has the pacing that it should for the kind of book that you've written. And finally, I want to offer you some encouragement if you're a new writer. You do not know everything you need to know to write a book, but neither has any other writer in the history of the world. There is a lot to writing a book. There's a lot of information you need to know, and there's a lot of skills in honing the craft of writing and publishing a book. You probably don't have them all. I know I don't, and I've been doing this for years. So I want to encourage you, as long as you continue on this journey of being a writer and you continue learning, you're going to grow and develop. I honestly hope that you never arrive at a place where you think you know everything you need to know about writing a book, because at that point, your writing will become stale. Instead, continue learning, continue growing, continue seeking out resources. Make it part of your writing career to always be learning a little something about how to write. So if you don't yet know how to do the content and pacing, just do the best you can with what you know right now. And in your next book, you'll know even more. So be encouraged and keep writing.